Good day, everyone. We are here to present the globalization of religion. We are the Group 3. I am Alexandra Magtuto, together with my classmate Tennessee Lucas, Renz Luna, Rainy Mabaga, Vincent Manuel, Paul Miranda, Limuel Pablo, Trixie Ravilas, and Patricia Ann Sabater.
What is religion? The belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. Religion may be defined as cultural system of designated behavior and practices, moral, worldviews, text, sanctified place, prophecies, ethics, or organizations that relates humanity to supernatural, transcendental, or spiritual elements. So generally, religion is a system of belief and practices. More specifically, the word comes from the Latin word religar, which means to bind together again that which is once bound but has since been torn apart or broken. In other terms, it is a collection of cultural system, belief system, and worldviews that establish symbols that relate humanity or spirituality and moral values. Most widely practiced religion of the world. According to 2006, there are about 4,300 religions of the world. This is according to adherents and independent and non-religiously affiliated organization that monitors the number of size of the world's religion.
There are many different religions, different sets of beliefs. Para po sa akin, sinasabi po dito na maraming reliyon dito sa atin sa mundo. Tulad ng mga Roman Catholic, Iglesia ni Cristo, Born Again, Methodist at marami pang iba. Sa bawat reliyon na ito ay may kanya-kanyang paniniwala. Tulad na Iglesia ni Cristo na hindi sumasamba sa rebulto at hindi kumakain ng dugo. The largest religions are Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Sikhism, Judaism, and Jainism. Dito po ay pinapakilala yung mga malalaking relihiyon na meron sa ating mundo.
What is globalization? A process refers to a larger phenomenon that cannot simply be reduced to the way in which global markets have been integrated. It usually refers to the integration of national market to a wide global market signified by the increased free trade. Sinasabi lang po dyan na ang globalization po ay ang mga paraan ng pagpapalitan ng mga produkto sa bawat bansa para po mas mapataas yung kita ng mga tao na mayroong negosyo.
Globalization refers to the historical process by which all the world's people increasingly come to live in a single social unit. It implicates religion and religions in several ways, from religions or theological perspectives. Globalization calls for religion's response and interpretation, yet religion and religions have also played important roles in bringing about and characterizing globalization. Ang globalization ay ang paraan ng pag-uugnay ng mga ugnayan at ang pagdaloy ng impormasyon, produkto, serbisyo, kapital at tao sa pagitan ng mga hanggang politikal at ekonomiko sa pagdaigdigang lipunan.
Religion, much more than culture, has the most difficult relationship with globalism. First, the two are entirely contrasting belief system. Yung dalawa po na yun ay magkakaiba ng sistema ng paniniwala. Religion is concerned with the sacred, while globalism places values on material wealth. Yung relihiyon ay nag-aalala sa mga sagrado na bagay. Tapos habang yung globalismo ay naglalagay ng mga halaga sa material na yaman. Religion follows divine commandments, while globalism abides by human-made laws. Yung mga pagsunod sa mga banal na utos, habang yung globalismo yung sumusunod sa mga batas na ginawa ng tao.
Religion assumes that there is the possibility of communication between human and the transcendence. So sabi po dito, ang relihiyon daw po ay naniniwala na may komunikasyon ang tinuturing na Diyos ng mga tao at mga tao upang sila ay gabayan sa pang-araw-araw na buhay. Globalism's yardstick, however, is how much of human action can lead to the highest material satisfaction and subsequent wisdom that this new status produces. So, sa globalism daw po, nagbibigay ng mga material na satisfaction, mga bagay na nahahawakan at nakukuha natin. Hindi kagaya sa religion, it's about kabutihan at kung paano ka mapupunta sa langit.
Religious people are less concerned with wealth and all that comes along with it. Religion is focuses on spreading moral values, tradition, and belief. Because of the religion, we feel that we are reunited. There are ascetics precisely because they shun anything material for complete simplicity. From their domain to the clothes they wear, to the food they eat, to the manner in which they talk, like ethnic groups, monks, and priests. Some of them they living with complete simplicity. Unlike globalization is about on materialistic and how to improve their standard of living.
Religious person's main duty is to live a virtuous sinless life such that when he or she is assured of a place in the other world. Ito daw yung mga reliyosong tao, ang kanilang main duty ay mabuhay ng hindi makasalanan. Kaya daw, kasi gusto daw nilang ma-assured na may kalalagyan sila sa kabilang buhay. On the other hand, globalists are less worried about whether they will end up in heaven or hell. Their skills are more pedestrian as they aim to seal trade deals, raise profits of private enterprises, improve government revenue collections, protect the elites from being excessively taxed by the state, and naturally enrich themselves. Sa kabila naman daw, itong mga globalista ay hindi masyadong nag-aalala kung saan sila mapupunta, kung sa heaven ba or hell. Kasi ang kanilang skills ay mas nakatutok sa pag-seal ng trade deals, pagtaas or pagkita ng mga pagtaas ng mga kita ng private companies, enterprises, mapa-improve yung mga government revenue collections, at maprotektahan ang mga elitista sa pagka-tax ng state and naturally enrich themselves.
Religious is a concern with spreading holy ideas globally while the globalist wishes spread goods and services. Religions regard identities associated with globalism as inferior and narrow because they are earthly categories. In contrast, membership to a religious group, organization, or a cult represent a superior affiliation that connects human directs to a divine and the supernatural.
So sabi po dito, yung religion daw po mostly nagbe-base sa sa salita ng Diyos, yung pagiging banal or holy, yung mga holy ideas, yun po yung pinaparating. Sa globalist naman po, ang gusto dito parang yung mga tao matuto sa business or mag-spread ng goods at services, ganun po. More on pag-unlad ng ekonomiya.
Religious aspire to become saint. The globalist trains to be a shrewd business person. Ang religion daw ay gustong mapabuti ang isang tao o gumawa at magtaglay ng magandang asal. Samantala naman ang globalist naman, sinasanay ang isang tao para maging globally competitive at mapalawak ang skills in terms of globalization. Religious detects politics and the quest for power, for they are evidence of humanity's weakness. The globalist values them both, means and ends to open up further the economies of the world. Ang religion daw ay di masyadong focus sa ekonomiya, politics at sa kapangyarihan. habang sa globalization ay malaki ang pakinabang ng ekonomiya, politika at kapangyarihan dahil ito ang bubuo sa globalism at para mapayabong pa ito. Finally, religion and globalization clash over the fact that religious evangelization is in itself form of globalization. The globalist ideal, on the other hand, is largely focused on the role of markets. Kapag globalization sa religion, ito ay pagpapalaganap ng relihiyon sa buong mundo. Sa globalist naman ay focus sila sa free trade, market integration, currency at marami pang iba na may connect sa ekonomiya.
Philosophical differences explain that certain groups flee their communities and create impenetrable sanctuaries where they can practice their religions without them meddling and control of state authorities. Prince and monks led the first revolts against colonialism in Asia and Africa, warning that these outsiders were out to destroy their people's good sound ways of life. So, dito po, parang sinasabi po yung kagaya po ng mga monghe, ganun po. Di ba po malayo sila sa city? Puro po sila sa rural po, rural na lugar, saan po konti yung mga tao. So, dito naman po sa revolts against colonialism. Feeling ko po dahil po dun sa China po kasi unti-unti na lang pinapatanggal ng mga China yung mga templo ng mga ganun po. Parang yun po yung balita po kasi may nabasa po ako sa yung ganun. So, yun nga po, mas pinipili po nilang lumayo ng lugar para hindi makontrol ng mga otoridad po.
Relationship between religion and globalization is much more complicated. According to Peter Berger, argues that far from being secularized, the contemporary world is purely religious. There are veritable explosions of religious fervor, occurring in one from another in all the major religious traditions, such as Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. So maraming bansa ang naitatag it is because they laid foundation of religion. Example, from the company we have a president which is the boss. Now, the employee is following order from their boss. In religion, sila yung mga tagasunod. But the president, it's not the owner of the company. Sa Christianity, parang sila Muhammad, yung mga disipulo ni God. Sumusunod lang din sila sa ipinag-uutos sa kanila. The CEO, the biggest share of contribution, parang si God. Parang sa kanya lahat nagsimula. Although maraming religion ngayon na umuusbong, pero halos lahat din naman doon, siya yung tinutukoy. Parang iba-iba lang ng paraan at pananampalataya.
The Malaysian government places religion at the center of the political system. Dito, sinasabi po na ipinaloob nila yung relihiyon nila, which is the Islam, to the constitution and government. Its constitution explicitly states that Islam is the religion of the federation, and the rules of each state was also the head of religion of Islam. Dito naman po, sinasabi na ang Catholic daw is an option for poor. Parang sa madaling sabi, ito ay option lang, pero in deep understanding, ito ay ang pananaw na magbabago sa mga mahirap sa mas konkretong paraan.
Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, he is the late Iranian religious leader, said that there is no fundamental distinction among constitutional, despotic, dictatorial democratic, and communistic regime. All secular ideologies were the same, they were flawed, and Islamic rule was the superior form of government because it was spiritual. So, why is Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini important? Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini was the architect of the Iranian Revolution and the first leader of the Islamic Republic established in 1979. He articulated the concept of vilayat faqih, the guardianship of the jurists using historical basis which underlay Iran's Islamic Republic. His ideas and rhetoric united broad swaths of Iranian society. According to this concept, the religious juries best qualified for the leadership should have oversight over the government.
Relationship between religion and globalization is much more complicated. Nadlatul Ulama, a traditionally Sunni Islam movement in Indonesia, has Islamic school where students are taught not only about Islam, but also about modern science, social science, modern banking, civic education, right of women, pluralism, and democracy. Ibig sabihin po dyan na may isang school na nagtuturo na hindi lamang tungkol sa Islam. Kadalasan po kasi na kapag tayo ay may sariling paniniwala or sarili pong relihiyon, ayaw natin tong nahahaluan ng iba. Kaya po minsan, kadalasan po nagpo-focus po tayo sa sariling atin lang or sa nakasanayan na po natin.
Alexis de Tocqueville quoted that not only do the Americans practice their religion out of self-interest, but they often even place in this world the interest which they have in practicing it. And Jose Casanova quoted that historically, religion has always been at the very center of all great political conflicts and movements of social reform, but also on both sides of political barricades. Sabi dito na ang religion daw ay laging pinagmumulan ng gera o pagtatalo sa kadahilanang may mga sarili silang paniniwala at ipinaglalaban.
Christianity and Islam, or the so-called Old World religions, see globalization less as an obstacle and more as an opportunity to expand their reach all over the world. Kristyanismo at Islam, sila ang may dalawang pinakamalaking relihiyon sa mundo at nagbabahagi ng isang tradisyonal na konsesyon sa tradisyonal na may ilang pangunahing pagkakaiba sa teolohiko. Ang dalawang pananampalataya ay nagbabahagi ng isang pangkaraniwang lugar sa pinagmulan sa gitnang silangan at isinasaalang-alang ang kanilang mga sarili na maging monotheistic.
Religion seeks to take the place of these broken ties and to either help communities cope with their new situation or organize them to oppose this major transformation of their lives. Ang hinahangad ng mga na kunin yung mga sirang ugnayan para makatulong sa ating mamamayan at tulungan sila sa malaking pagbabago sa kanilang buhay. Religion is not the regressive force that steps or slow down the globalization. It is a proactive force that gives communities a new and powerful basis or identify. Hindi daw reliyon yung regressive force, kundi ito ay isang proactive force na nagbibigay sa mga komunidad ng bago at makapangyarihang batayan ng pagkilala.
Religion is an instrument with which religious people can put their mark in the reshaping of globalizing world. Religious fundamentalism may dislike globalization. Yung religion ay isa siya sa instrument kung saan maaring ilagay ng mga taong relihiyoso to put their marks sa pagbabago ng globalizing world. At ang religious fundamentalism ay maaring hindi magustuhan ang globalization. Materialism, but it continues to use the full range of modern means of communication and organization that is associated with economic transformation. Materialism, patuloy siyang gumagamit ng mga modernong paraan ng komunikasyon at organization to associate sa mga pagbabago ng economic.
Religious fundamentalism has stopped fast long-distance transport and communication. The availability of English as a global vernacular of unparalleled power and know-how of modern management and marketing, which enable the spread of almost promiscuous propagation of religious forms across the globe in all sorts of directions. These fundamentalism organizations are the result of the spread of globalization and both find ways to benefit or take advantage of each other. parang ganito naman. Di ba nung nagka-pandemic po, parang social media yung naging way ng church upang matuloy or maipakalat pa din ang mga word na ni God through online mass or mass sa TV para din di makalimot ang mga tao na meron pa ring religion. So, yun po, ginamit po nila yung globalism, which, parang technology po, para po maipakalat pa lalo yung words ni God at di po makalimot yung tao na nandyan pa rin si God.
While religions may benefit from the process of globalization, this does not mean that its tension with globalist ideology will subside. Some Muslims views globalization as a Trojan horse, hiding supporters of Western values like secularism, liberalism, or even communism ready to spread these ideas in their areas to eventually displace Islam. The World Council of Churches, an association of different Protestant congregations, has criticized economic globalization's negative effect.
We as church make ourselves accountable to the victim of project of economic globalization by becoming the latter's advocate inside and outside the centers of powers. The Catholic Church and its dynamic leader Pope Francis likewise condemned globalization's throwaway culture that is fatally destined to suffocate hope and increase risks and threats. Ibig sabihin lang po dyan na ang simbahang katoliko at si Pope Francis ay isa sa mga tumutol sa pag-alis ng bawat kultura ng globalization dahil naniniwala po sila na maaaring mas lumaki pa ang banta sa peligro ng bawat tao.
What Catholic calls preferential option for the poor is a powerful message of mobilization but looks substance when it comes to working out replacement system that can change the poor condition in concrete way. Preferential care should be shown to poor and vulnerable people are given special in God's eye. The Bible teaches us to take special care of the most vulnerable people in society.
The traditionalism of fundamentalist political Islam is no alternative either. The terrorism of ISIS unlikely to create a caliphate governed by justice and stability. Ang ISIS ay isang terorismo na grupo, kalaban nila ang gobyerno o relihiyon. Ipaglaban ang relihiyong Islam sa buong mundo. Kaya ISIS ang tawag sa kanila dahil binubuo ito ng ilang bansa sa Middle East na karamihan ay mga Islam ang relihiyon. In Iran, the unchallenged superiority of religious autocracy has stifled all freedom of expressions, distorted democratic rituals like election, and tainted the opposition. Sa Iran daw, kapag sinabi ng Ayatollah, like king in Iran, wala nang magagawa ang mga tao at wala na ding eleksyon. Kahit may presidente, mas supreme ang Ayatollah.